Hey guys, here we are. We have reached the final 2.5D next video, and I'm super excited to show you these walls. Now, as I talked about in the first vid, I really like some aspects of these walls. One is that the detail on the top is really nice and super easy to do. The weight, I like the weight of these. That's the one trick to these that I think most people haven't guessed how I've done. But it's super easy. It does take a little bit of time to do, but it's super easy and it's well worth doing because not only does it give them weight, but these things are super strong. And we still are doing these out of really cheap materials. You're going to be surprised when you see the cheap materials I'm using to make these. So without further ado, let's go to the table and we will finish up the walls for our 2.5D next system. As in the stamp video, one of the materials we need for the project is this Dollar Tree foam core. And you can see you just pull the paper right off the one side, so it's foam on one side and paper on the other. And we use that for the top of our walls. So there we use the foam side. Now the other material I need is just regular cardboard. Now I found this pretty dense cardboard. It has some tight corrugation, which I liked. But I got a foot piece, a 6-inch, a 3-inch, an 1.5 inch, and a inch square that I've cut out of the cardboard. Okay, so now I'm just going to glue the strips together, and you just glue together as many as you need for each type. So now I've got those two strips glued together. I'm going to glue a 1/2 inch piece of foam core to the top. All right, now I'm gluing the paper side so it won't melt the foam. All right, so I got that on there. And I'm going to add some hot glue to the bottom, and this will just give it strength. So I just smooth that out. Now I need to do some detail. So this is really easy. I'm just going to use an ink pen, a ruler, a fork, and a cutting tool. You could use just about anything. And I'm going to measure, this is a 1/2 inch, so I'm going to measure a 1/4 inch for the halfway mark. And then I'll just start putting where the blocks will be wherever I feel like they should go. Okay, and I'm doing this randomly for every piece. Now I poked where the blocks meet with the pen, and then I'm going to use the fork to give it texture. Then I'm going to pull on a little bit with the pen to give it some more texture. Then I'll just cut out where the blocks are with this blade, and simple as that. So let's go through the whole piece and cut out all the detail. And there we go. Some nice quick texture that was really easy to do. Alright. Now, what I want to do, the trick is to give these weight and strength. I'm going to use play sand. Okay, I'm going to use a strainer and a plastic bucket, and I'm going to strain the play sand because even though it's play sand, it still has some little bit of particles in it. And you can actually see that I kept this one outside and it has a bug in it. So there you go. So I'm just going to strain those bigger particles and the bug out of there. So I'll just put some more play sand in, strain it again. You can see the larger aggregate that's coming out of that. Alright, so now I've got some nice smooth sand ready to go. Alright, so here's a 6-inch piece that I'm going to make, and there's the corrugation. Okay, and I'll use the sand to give it texture and strength. So I'm just going to use my white glue, and I'm going to start filling this in with white glue. Okay, so I go along the edge and just fill that in till all the holes are filled in. Okay. And it will hold the white glue. Okay, it won't all leak out. There you go. And I got the one side, then just do the end and the other end. And you can reapply the sand if you want. And then I'll just fill the other side in. Okay. And nice and smooth. There you go. So we'll let that sit for a minute, and then we'll do some more. Now you'll notice that they might kind of bleed almost like a sore. They'll bleed glue after a little bit of time, and you can just apply some more sand. You can actually dip the ends in there. You could just put some more sand on it by actually smushing it into the sand, or you could actually, when you do these, just let it sit in the sand longer. Okay, so there we go. That's all there is to it. So now I've got my walls that I've done today, and I have these washers, and I don't want these to bend while they're drying because the white glue tends to bend pieces. So I'll put the piece down, and then I'll put washers on here, and when this dries, this will be rock hard straight. Okay, so I'll just do it for all the pieces and all the smaller pieces, and you basically just let this sit for a day or two, and you're good to go. So there we go, all dry, solid. Now I want to spray paint these, but the spray paint will melt the foam on the top, so I'm going to use some glue on it, and that'll help keep the glue or the spray paint from melting the top with the glue applied like that. So just apply that on there and then let it dry, and then I can spray paint these. Alright, now I've got it spray painted black, and if you need to, you can always fill a little bit with some acrylic black. I've got gray, burnt umber, coffee, and a light gray, and I'm going to use just my standard kitchen sponge to apply this. So I'll just start getting some gray on there, and then what you do, you can just dab it on the piece, on the sides. Now I'm not doing the bottom because I have the hot glue on there, so I'll just dab it on there until I'm happy with it. You don't want to cover up all the detail. So now I'm getting the burnt umber and the coffee, and I'll add a little bit of light gray for some highlight. So there we go. Really pops that out there, gives it a nice variation in color. And there we go, looking like a great stone wall. Alright. Now here we go, here's our wall. It's all dried. Now I want to do one last thing. I want to apply another coat of hot glue to the bottom, because the sand sometimes goes a little bit past the bottom, and this will even out the bottom. And not only that, it will give it a nice rubbery surface to sit on, and it won't slide as much. Here are our walls all laid out in descending order. I've got the 12-inch, the 6-inch, the 3-inch, 1.5 inch, and the 1-inch. And you could use it for various things like, corners or that kind of thing, or other details that you need to fill in. I also wanted to show you the bottom of this. So it just has the hot glue on it. I didn't paint the bottom. That helps the sliding. Now, for a set, you'd want to make about a dozen of each. I'd make about 2 dozen of the 6-inch walls. Those seem to be the most utilitarian. Hey crafters, I hope you really liked the vid detailing the secret of these walls. They really are super easy. Don't be intimidated by the steps in this video. You'll be cranking these things out in no time. And they're well worth the work. These walls are fantastic. I love them. I love using them in game, and they look great. So make sure also that if you haven't watched the other videos in this series, to watch them so you know how these walls work, and the floors that they go with, that they are coupled with, so you can make your own rooms. So until next time, I'll see you, and go forth and craft! Who's there?
Roderick.
Roderick who?
Roderick, glad Scotty finished 2.5D next tile so I can charge in the room and kill stuff. Roar!